Hello, hi, how are you? I hope you're good. Happy Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday when this video is going up. Today I have a little small discussion video that I want to share with you or talk with you about. Today I want to discuss the pros and cons of how Booktube affects our reading, how Booktube affects maybe our habits associated with books in a way. I've been thinking about this recently. Just thoughts have been buzzing in my head, and I just kind of want to talk about them with you because I think there's so many great things about Booktube and what it does for us here, for the readers, but also I think that there are some things that maybe aren't the best, but you know, there are definitely more pros and cons. So the first thing that I want to talk about being, I've been here for years. I've been on this platform for so many years, and I think one of the biggest things that Booktube has done reading wise is in the accumulation of books. I have purchased so many books because of Booktube, and in the beginning I think you can get a little bit overwhelmed by all of the books that you see and all of the books that you probably just want so many things, and you just tend to buy. And sure, that is great for maybe book publishers and whatnot, but you know, at the end of the day, are you actually going to read all of these books? I think the con side is that you might just be too excited, you might just be buying too many things, and things can sit on your shelf for so long and you might not ever get around to reading it, and you might just eventually give it away, and that's completely fine because a lot of people love book collecting and they just like to support other authors. But I think also, you know, think about what you buy before you buy it. Do you truly want to read this book? Just think about it, because I know that there are so many books on my shelf that I purchased so long ago that are still on my shelf, and will I ever get to them? I can only hope that I will, but I'm not sure. Another thing that I want to talk about is Booktube is so great because you get exposed to so many things. I think another thing that Booktube does in affecting us is that we become so much more aware of all of the books, all of the new releases, all of the old books, especially with new releases. Booktube is really big on promoting new releases. You see a lot of bigger booktubers get sent books to then talk about and spread the word to get people more excited and hyped to purchase these books. So you become very aware of all of these new books. And I know when I first started Booktube, I did not have a clue about new books at all. I picked up books at random. I picked up books that just looked interesting, that I liked the cover of. I never was informed on new release books, but now I am. Now I could tell you what I'm looking forward to, or this author is going to be writing this soon, this author is publishing this soon, this publishing house, you know, comes out with really great books. I'm gonna look out for what they publish soon, blah 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 blah. Never had a clue, never cared, nada. But now that is just so prevalent, and I feel like if you are a creator here, if you are a watcher here, then you definitely are more aware of new release books. And also on the flip side, you're definitely aware of a lot of older books as well. I can't tell you of how many I want to say backlist books or just older classic books that I have been exposed to because of Booktube. And I think another pro of Booktube in affecting our reading is that I am more inclined to try and pick up a book from a different genre than I probably would have on my own. And I think that's really great because Booktube is so good at getting you to try new things. Now myself, I'm really into sci-fi and horror and a little bit of fantasy, but I know that before my channel I didn't read a lot of classics, and I didn't read a ton of like short stories or any other thing like nonfiction. But with starting my channel and watching other booktubers, you know, when you get accustomed to a booktuber that you like watching their personality, the way that they review things, it really makes you want to try new books just because the way that a booktuber reviews a book, a way that a booktuber talks about a book, their excitement, it really gets you to want to try a book. And I think that's so great because then you're exposed, then you might possibly fall in love with another genre that you never thought you would like. And I think it's always great being readers to expand your horizon and always try new things. So I think that's another great thing. Flipping to a con, I think way that Booktube has affected my reading in the past, I try not to let it so much anymore, is this pressure of reading a certain amount or of always reading more. Before Booktube, I would average reading maybe 5 to 6 books a month, maybe 4 at times, and I was completely fine with that. But then I think being on this platform, seeing the amount of books that other readers read in a month, when you see other readers read upward of 10 books in a month, that still blows my mind, because I just don't know how people get through so many books. And when you see that, it almost, not that it makes you feel guilty or sad, but it's a want to read as much as that, so you tend to put more pressure on yourself to read more. And I just want to say this right now, that if you don't read that many books, that's completely fine. You do not have to. You can do other things. You can have other hobbies and enjoy other things, okay? You can watch TV, go for a walk, go running, go hiking, swimming, whatever you want to do, but you don't have to constantly read. Though I have found out that a lot of people tend to read a lot of books because they're reading, but they're also listening to audiobooks, which audiobooks are great. It's definitely a great way to get your reading game up, because it's nice to listen to an audiobook, but again, you don't always have to. You can listen to music too, or a podcast. So just, I think that's something to always keep in mind. You know, don't really let that pressure get to you, because it's fine to just read whatever you want to read. But I've definitely been on the flip side where I felt like there was this need, like I had to read a book by a certain time. I had to review a book by a certain time. If I wasn't reading the minimum of 5 a month, then I was a failure, and is a terrible thing to think. So I think that's a con, but also on the flip side, a positive thing that I think that comes from Booktube is that there's so much joy in reading books with your fellow readers. You can join book clubs, buddy reads, you can have so many more discussions, and I think it affects your reading in such a way that you just get more from a book than possibly you would have alone. I know that whenever I buddy read a book with someone, going back and forth with someone, I learn things that I wouldn't have picked up before because I'm discussing it with other people. And I think that it's turned me into more of, not necessarily an analytical reader, but more of a reader that just, I can pick up on the metaphors and the themes a lot more than I probably would have before, or I can spot when maybe something isn't done well enough, or maybe the writing style is a bit blah, or what, you know what I mean? And you know, that's a pro and a con in and of itself, because definitely beforehand I was a reader that just read for the pleasure of reading, and I didn't really care about what was within the book. I just wanted pure entertainment, which is fine if that is what you would like to do. But I think when you're on Booktube, you definitely, over time, you develop more of a critique in your reading style. And so is that a pro? Is that a con? I don't know. I think it's a good thing, because I love learning and I love, you know, gaining knowledge about a book. So that's just, you know, what I think. This one's kind of random, and I'm not sure if it really fits in this discussion, but I definitely want to say that I am much more of a library reader than I used to be at one point, and I never really read from the library before. It was not really something that I used to go to the library as a kid, and then I stopped, and then when I started Booktube, I purchased a lot of books, and over time, you know, I think it's great on this platform that people promote the library, and I pick up so many books from the library now. I can't tell you how many books I've read from the library and loved, and I love the aspect of the library, supporting your community, getting to read a book, but not necessarily having to purchase a book, but at the same time you can still talk about it and share with other readers. And I just think it's such a great tool to utilize, because there's just so much available, and I love that Booktube is promoting libraries as much as Booktube does now. And I think that's affected my reading so much, because now I don't feel like I have to go and buy a book or whatnot. I can just go check it out from the library, and if I love it, maybe I could buy it, or I don't have to buy it. It's completely fine. I don't need to just collect books all the time. And I probably should have talked about that earlier, but that's just another random thing that I wanted to mention. And I think that's all I really wanted to talk about today. I can't think of anything else, but this is just something that I kind of wanted to ramble on about today. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what your opinions are, and has Booktube affected your reading in any way, shape, or form? Is this all just random bupkis that I'm thinking of, or do you relate in any shape or form? Let me know. I'd love to discuss and chat with you, and I hope you're doing good. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you in another video on Friday. Bye!